You know it's summer when people are walking on the street. Welcome back to BT. I'm Sid Texero. Earlier this summer, the Minister of Health announced new food labeling regulations to help Canadians make informed food choices. How will these new changes affect you and your family? Registered dietitian Michelle Jaelin is here to discuss all of that with us. Michelle, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Sid. Thank you for having me.
All right, this is important stuff. The new changes, what are they and when do they go into effect?
So Health Canada wants to improve labels, food labels on packaged foods, and foods that are high in these nutrients, what I call the 3 S's, sodium, sugars, and saturated fat, would be required to have a front of package nutrition symbol to tell Canadians that those foods are high in those nutrients. Now, foods high in sodium, sugars, and saturated fat have been linked to certain chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. So we don't want to minimize how much of that we eat. And this is supposed to go into effect by January 1st, 2026, although you might see that happen earlier before then as it gets put out by food companies.
Michelle, I would assume certain food companies would be fighting this. I think because that change it's right in your face, it's right at the top. There's no confusing it. How much lobbying was done for this not to happen?
Well, there is an exception to this label, and that is for raw single ingredient foods. So things like ground meat or poultry, as well as things like fish, milk products, cheese, things that are like minimally processed. Those ones aren't required to have that label, as well as foods that we know that have a protective effect for health. So like fruits and vegetables that do not have any added sodium, sugars, or saturated fat are ones that would be exempt from this label.
All right, as a registered dietitian, what do you think we should really be looking at when examining food packaging?
So I teach nutrition workshops for nonprofits as well as workplaces. And one of the things I teach is how to read food labels. And there's 2 things required on food labels by law that are on every single package. And the first one is the nutrition facts label. So the nutrition facts label tells you the nutrition breakdown of the food. And you compare the amount at the top, the serving size, to the amount that you actually eat. Now, this can help you to compare 2 packages for you to make a more informed choice, or it can help you to manage a dietary restrictions, such as like things like low sodium that you have to follow. That's what the nutrition facts will help you with. The other thing is the ingredients list, and those things are listed from the most of an ingredient to the least amount of the ingredient. So in an example that I have here, if sugar is listed as the first ingredient, then that's how you know that maybe it won't be a healthy choice. Of course, I would have to see the entire food as a whole to make a fair assessment, but those are things that are required on every single food package by law, and you have to find those 2 things, and those are things that I teach myself as a dietitian.
Good stuff to know. Michelle, one last thing before we let you go. I shockingly don't check a lot of labels. I should. I don't. What's the one thing on a label that, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of people, that they don't think is that bad on the label, but you should kind of pay more attention to?
So front of packages have a lot of messages on them. So you'll see things like, oh, made with all natural ingredients or keto friendly. But these messages are what I call health washing marketing, and they're a way to make a food seem more appealing to a consumer without actually telling you the nutritional quality of the food. So this new front of package label is a regulated thing, and it will tell consumers off the bat on the front whether or not the food is high in the 3 S's. And that, along with the other nutrition marketing messages, should make it easier for Canadians to make healthier choices when they're at the grocery store.
At Michelle Jaelin on social media if you want more information. Michelle, good stuff. We appreciate you. Let's talk again soon. Thank you.